we go.
Nice. The only other thing maybe to do is to mute people, and then, well, I guess I can unmute myself, but I guess, you're whatever you want to do, just as long as you mute yourselves, so that there's not background noise as we're recording and doing this. But anyway, let me just welcome everybody. One of the things that we want to do is talk about emotional health, because this plagues so many people all around the world. And it seems like since the pandemic, it's gotten worse. Well, it got really, really bad during the pandemic, but so many people have not recovered from their emotional trauma and the things that they went through during the pandemic. And it's not just the pandemic, I mean, it's life, right? And so we just want to teach you today about how to get the best support for your bodies emotionally by using essential oils. And I just hats off to Becky, because she created, part of this comes from another presentation, but Becky makes everything look even better than it does normally. So this is a beautiful presentation. And in this class, we're going to talk about the science behind emotion and essential oils. So, so many other companies, they just get the products and they give them to you, and there's no science behind it. But doTERRA has a huge team of scientists and doctors who have, university degrees and who study these. And so there's a lot of science behind the emotional essential oils. Then there are tools and habits that help your body chemistry be more effective in dealing with the issues of emotional health, right? And then there's just practical emotional wellness steps that you can take right now to change in your life, and things that will help you to be able to deal with emotional health better. So we have talked about this wellness pyramid, and we're never going to do a presentation about doTERRA without talking about this, because it has become a very important part of doTERRA. We want to make sure that you understand that the oils are not just magic. If you don't take care of your body, they're not just going to, magically take care of all of your diseases and all of your health problems if you don't learn to take care of yourself. So we always start with nutrition on the bottom and digestion. And Becky's going to talk a lot about that. And then movement, rest, and manage stress, which is where the emotional part starts coming in, is with that stress, okay? And the natural self-care and informed self-care, and then being proactive. But one of the things that this wellness pyramid shows is that there's an important partnership between our lifestyle and wellness. Our habits, our daily habits, the things that you do every single day are going to make a difference in how you feel 10 years from now or 20 years from now, okay? And for those of us who are starting to get into our midlife and, older and stuff, we realize that however we took care of our body when we were younger, it made a big difference now. So we want to make this simple for you, and we want to give you good references where you can know that these are natural solutions that are proven. So let's just talk really briefly, for those of you who are brand new, what an essential oil is. Now, you have had essential oils in India for thousands of years, but the essential oils from doTERRA are very different because of their purity. And so they're going to be able to affect your body in a much more effective way than what you've experienced before with essential oils that have fillers and, other chemicals and things like that that aren't healthy for your body. And these essential oils can be taken internally, as we were just talking with Daljit. Okay, and they come from plants. Sometimes people think that these are like petroleum oils. No, these are essential oils that help with your body. They're made from the same things that your body is made from. And so they resonate because they come from plants, and they come from all different parts of the plant: the root, the bark, the flowers, the leaves, the seeds, the petals, the stems, all different parts of the plant. And they are all either steam distilled, or the citrus oils are cold pressed from the rind, okay? And those are very important for emotional health as well. And they're powerful, and they're safe without all of the different side effects. So this is what essential oils are. One of the most important things for essential oils is and emotional health is to understand that because of the purity and the safety of these, they can pass through our cell membrane, which is a safety net for our bodies. If anything could pass through the cell membrane, all of the things, the toxins that come from outside, from the things that we eat, from the bacterial and viral infections, if all of those things could just pass through the cell membrane, we would have all died a long time ago, right? So our cells are kind of a protection for us, and they kind of decide, what am I going to let into my cell? Like your body has that mechanism. And so it's really important to know that because these are so natural and safe, they can pass through the cell membrane. They can also, some of the oils can pass through the blood-brain barrier. So they're perfectly pure, and they can address both bacterial infections and viral infections that can't usually be touched by synthetic drugs. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so just think about your body. Your body is created to function as a whole, but there are different parts. You have your spirit, you have your body, and you have your mind, okay? And we want to just talk about these. Becky's going to go a little bit more into this. But if we don't nourish our spirit, and if we don't nourish our mind, and we don't nourish our body, if we miss out on any one of those three areas, we will not function well emotionally, okay? If we don't take care of our body, but we're nourishing the spirit and the mind, we're not going to still be emotionally healthy, and vice versa on all of those. So we want to nourish and take care of the body as a whole. Let's go to the... So your body, as I mentioned, is made up of very smart cells, okay? Our cells in our body are brilliant, and they know exactly what to let in and exactly what to do. And they are designed to continually restore our health. They help our body, whether we get a disease, whether we get an infection, our cells rejuvenate and they fight against those little things that come into our body, and they are always helping us to restore our health. So what the essential oils do is they give support to our cells to help our bodies heal. They're not like a medication that goes in and takes care of the symptoms. They actually go to the cellular level and help our body restore so that we have better health. So I just want you to know how powerful and potent these essential oils are. You can take 1 drop of essential oil and it can support your healthy cell function all over your body, okay? And this will anchor your healthy biochemistry. It promotes physical and emotional detoxification. So, you know, we become cluttered and cloudy emotionally, and we become cluttered and cloudy physically. And the essential oils help on both levels, okay? They're very, very important. Let's go to the next slide.
Can I say something about this one as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what you're looking at here on the cell is a receptor site. And the essential, what happens is they get inflamed through the stresses that we have. And what's really powerful about the essential oils is that they are detoxifying and helping with the inflammation, so that when they're inflamed, they're miscommunicating from one receptor to the other. So this is something that communicates from one cell to the other, and when it's inflamed, it's not passing that information correctly. And so the essential oils will help go to work on your body's behalf to support the inflammation, cleanse those receptor sites, so the communication is not cloudy, like Suzanne was saying. And so once I realized that, that was huge to me. I used to think that emotion, we kind of treat like emotion or depression and things like that as something that is wrong, or that person just can't get a hold of themselves. But it actually is a chemical thing, an imbalance that does happen inside our body.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
So just building on top of that, if you think about this, you have trillions of molecules in your body, okay? Trillions and trillions of them. One single drop of essential oil, when used correctly and for the right purpose, can affect all of these millions and trillions of molecules. These chemical compounds service every single cell of your body. So every drop of oil has so many millions and trillions of molecules in it that are going to go into your body, because your body also has so many, okay? These chemical compounds service every cell of your body in a matter of minutes. They have done studies that show, I mean, they actually show someone putting essential oils on their feet and they're looking at their blood levels, and within 30 seconds, 20 seconds, they start to see cells divide and move around and cleanse. And it's like the cells are getting excited, right? When you put something good and healthy into them. So they're very, very, very powerful. And I just want to say too, I didn't say this at the beginning. If you have questions, type in the chat, and we will also take questions at the end. But if you have questions, type in the chat. We're going to get to business, a little bit of business information later. But just know that as we go through this presentation, you can type anything in the chat. Becky will answer questions when I'm talking. I'll answer questions. And there are many people on this call as well that are very knowledgeable. Okay, so emotions and your beliefs. So I'm going to turn the time over to Becky now, and she's going to go through this next section, which is powerful, you guys, powerful. I don't go a day, like first thing in the morning, I start using essential oils for my emotional health. And it makes such a difference in my life. I don't know how people live without, I mean, I lived a lot of years without the oils, but they just make such a difference. So Becky, I'll go ahead and turn the time over to you.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. That was amazing. And, you know, just like you, I use the oils every morning, all throughout the day. And I really wonder what my life was like before. I don't know if I would even be here on this earth, to be honest with you. And I struggle with depression from time to time. And I can really map it back to that chart that what Suzanne was talking about when we first started the session, where we have our gut health and our physical exercise. When was the last time we detoxed our home? How are we taking care of our sleep? All these things like that really do affect our physical health as well as our emotions. And to learn the language of what your body needs, you need to know what emotions are and how they're communicating inside your body. And like I said earlier about those receptor cell sites, you know, our body's communicating to us in many different ways. So this presentation is really kind of fun. It's very basic and simple. But when we go through and when we go through and we talk about the neuroscientific studies, they've discovered that the emotion are information carrying molecules that bind and react to cell receptors. Like I was mentioning before, the cell receptor on the outside of the cell communicates from one thing to the next. They go into the cell, impacting the function and behavior of the cell. Like, you know, we talk about the RNA, the DNA, right? In other words, emotions are in the smallest and most basic form, they're chemical molecules. In this image, the cell, we're talking about the mind talks to the heart and the heart talks to the gut. They're all talking to each other, right? And so when we're thinking about how the mind is reacting to different behaviors and different things, the subconscious mind directs over 90% of our behavior. However, when I was listening to a lot of different studies, we go through and we talk about how the gut actually, you know, you hear the stories like go with your gut feeling. Well, there's a lot to be said because you have more neural pathways in your gut talking to the rest of your body than the mind does. So think about that for a minute. Like, you know, if your gut is not healthy, then how can your mind be responding properly? Brain fog is a direct response to not getting nutrients to the brain, right? So, in other words, emotions are the smallest basic form of a chemical molecule. So as it's going through and communicating to different areas of your body, it's pretty powerful. Okay. So this is an example of this gal. Her mind is speaking to her mind is speaking to her body, right? Like something is going to happen. So I'm going to go through to the next slide. Your three brains instinctively process every life experience, right? And so when we're thinking about walking through a day in life. This lady here, she's listening, she's talking on the phone, the baby's crying, the dog's barking, and she probably got some information over the phone that was not likable because she doesn't look like she has a happy face. And so in this moment, she's recording in her mind, in her subconscious mind, something. What do you think she is saying? What do you think she is saying right now?
Yeah, type in the chat.
She could be saying things like, oh my gosh, this happened, and how can I figure this out? I'm feeling so overwhelmed. So her heart's saying, I feel overwhelmed. And her gut is saying, I'm stuck. Now, in this situation, do you think she would probably start to get a headache, get really tired, and maybe her stomach would start to hurt and get crampy? um, the brain is sending its own message. The mind might think, I have to figure this out. It's all my responsibility, right? And the heart is saying, I feel so overwhelmed. Maybe I'm holding in too much. Maybe I'm doing too much. I don't believe in myself. Maybe I can't handle this. How many of you guys have felt like that before? Right? The gut is referencing, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. So in this next slide, we're talking about a biochemical reaction then occurs. One may feel conflicted, confused, even notice unsettling stomach, like the negative reactions are the consequence of conflicting messages, which disrupt the internal balance of the body. And so I can experience this with myself with a bad gut. Like I was so stressed out at my print shop. All these problems kept happening. The printers would break down, an employee would quit, or a rush job would get messed up. There was always something going on. And these negative reactions that I was doing to my body really created and disrupted an internal imbalance in my body. And so this is a disconnection, right? It's actually called dis-ease, right? You're at dis-ease, you're not at ease. And so when you put those two words together, it's disease. Wow, think about that for a minute. So when we start to think about things simultaneously, a new belief is created. And it's probably not a true belief, right? We're making this up. That's the most important thing to realize is that it's just in the moment. I'm not good enough. Those thoughts come through, right? We are always reinforcing these old belief patterns. And, in that moment, we can actually nurture our belief patterns and create new ones. Are you nurturing a weed, or are you going to nurture new growth of new beautiful flowers or ideas and thoughts? The woman in this needs some balance. So some of you are already oil users that are on this call. If you have a balance oil with you, go ahead and pull it out and go ahead and smell the oil and put it on you. And as we review what was going on, these life experiences come together. It could be anything. It could be being fired at work, getting in a wreck in your car, your mom yelling at you, whatever it is, right? We make a decision about that. And I just want you to know in that moment, those decisions that we make, once you start recognizing those decisions in the moment, you can have a choice and you can actually decide in a belief pattern that's going to support you or not. Okay, so what do I need to weed out? So let's think about some of the thoughts that you may have that are reoccurring often. So close your eyes and listen to the language your body is speaking to you. Do you feel whispers of tension or a stomach pain? Does your heart feel heavy or conflicted? So think of these activities and habits that you go throughout the day, day in and day out. Based on what you discovered, which ones are the weeds? So if you take a minute and write those down, you'll be shocked to know how often, like for myself, day in and day out, I have these same thought patterns and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have these oils. And you can actually start to look at some patterns and start to change those patterns. So based on what you discovered, what do you want to remove in your life? What patterns do you think you can take out? So for instance, I may have a thought pattern, I'm overwhelmed, I feel stressed. If you feel you know what the weed is, go ahead and jot those down. You want to feel less of, and what do you want to feel more of? Now, many of you have seen this chart in many of our introduction classes. Nothing's changed on this chart. It's still the same verbiage. And think about that. We've always been talking about our emotional upset all these years, all these times we've been teaching you guys about the oils. But I bet you never realized that the essential oils are actually working on emotions along with our physical ailment. And so I'm going to go in here and talk a little bit more about some of these charts, right? How do we map these essential oils for emotional wellness? Well, many of you know that we can use these oils 3 different ways: aromatically, topically, internally. And here are some examples of the aromatic processes. If we go through and think about aromatically, this is called aromatherapy for a reason. The smell is the fastest way to affect mood and the quickest way to get into the deepest parts of the mind brain. Our sense of smell is 10,000 times more sensitive than any other senses that we have in our body. There are small receptors on every organ in the body, including your gut, including your heart. I just think that is just crazy to think about. But these receptor sites are there, right? They're on every cell. As you inhale the essential oil, these aromatic molecules travel up through the nasal passage of the olfactory bulbs in the nose, which are then linked directly to the emotional or the limbic part of the brain. The smell is the only direct access. Isn't that incredible to think about, you guys, when you think about how these oils are the direct, oops, good grief, on the wrong thing here. So I just love to know that. So here's the balance oil that I talked about. Balance scatters anxious feelings. It balances scattered and anxious feelings and brings harmony to the mind and to the body. Okay. Topically. So if we were to go through and think about topically, hang on just a second here. My notes flipped on me. The second way we can use essential oils is to apply them topically. Essential oils are transdermal. This means that their tiny molecules can pass through your skin and go straight to the circular system. Applied anywhere in the body, essential oils will penetrate every cell. Topical application stimulates the body for supporting areas of need. So maybe if you have a stomach ache, you would take the digestion oil and just rub it over your belly. Here are some great tips for topical application to affect the 3 brains of your body. Wherever you are holding occasional tension, you can massage the oil into that area for localized support. So here's another oil, grief. When we're thinking about breathing, I had a customer that used to come into our shop and he'd say, "Just breathe, Becky." He would walk in, open the door, and he'd yell at me and say, "Breathe, Becky, breathe." And you'd close the door and leave. And I was one of those people that I would hold my breath all the time. And breathing is really a great way to open up the airways and to support your emotional cleansing of the respiratory function. So when we talk about the aromatically aspect of it, I think that that's really important. But also think about it with taking the breathe, and you can even rub it over your chest to help you breathe in and breathe out, get more oxygen into your airways. And this is not moving. I don't know why. So the internal chemical reactions for doing internal, you can actually think about how the certified pure tested grade oils are labeled for dietary use, can be taken internally in water, under the tongue, on the roof of your mouth, like we were talking about that with Deljeet, or in a gel capsule to support your overall health. Now, I am a strong believer of taking the oils internally because, again, getting it into your intestines quickly where your gut is, where it's the beginning of your whole overall health. It's the foundation on the foundation chart of having your gut health. And when I had such a bad stomach, my emotions were rampant. They were, I was emotionally irritable. I was not sleeping at night. Nobody liked talking to me. And, I know when my stomach is not at its best health, I notice that my emotions get more erratic. And so I need to focus on getting back to taking my gut health seriously. Okay, so I love this oil talking about On Guard. We love On Guard, right? It's such a huge oil during the pandemic, but look at it. It's called the protective blend. And so people are feeling vulnerable. This is a beautiful oil to pull out. Maybe using the On Guard before you teach a class, because sometimes that really brings up a lot of emotion. And On Guard oil gives emotional strength and boosts immune function, but it's really powerful when you're talking about it being a protective blend. So basically, demonstrate if you wanted to take On Guard and actually put a drop in your mouth. You can see how the oil will really just awaken. It's a spicy oil and it has wild orange in it. It's a blend, so it has these different oils that can do many things to your body. And let me explain what I mean by that. When we go through and think about what oils do we want to plant to be able to help get those beautiful flowers and good, happy thoughts in our mind, sometimes it's hard to know which oils to reach to, right? And I love this chart because it really does go through and show on the top of the chart, you can reach for uplifting oils, right? Because they're going to uplift you. So mints are very uplifting. Citrus oils. So the citrus plant is up in the fruits are up in top of the tree so that you can actually notice how citrus oils are going to be uplifting, right? So if you're feeling discouraged, you want to be uplifted, reach for a wild orange or a tangerine or a grapefruit oil. Mints, like everybody in India loves peppermint. That should be a mainstay, especially during the heat. You know how people get grumpy when it's hot out? Just taking that peppermint and doing a nice little spray bottle and a refresher, it's just a beautiful thing. And then when we talk about the below the chart where everything's very grounding, if you're feeling a lot of anxiety, grieving, sad, you want to be grounded and use those oils that are low to the ground and very strong and sturdy. When I heard about flowers, if you notice that you have a flower bud and then it opens up when the sun's out, like when you look at the petals on a rose flower, for example, how they're all really tightly wound. It's like they're hugging each other, right? And then when the sun comes out, they open their hearts up to the sun. And so if you feel like you're constricted or really um, need some love, then I would reach for a flower oil because it really helps you pull out of that cocoon, if you will. So that's just kind of a brief analogy of going through and knowing what oils to reach for. I guess I didn't cover spices. I can do that real quick. If you want to spice up your life, maybe you need a spicy love life, or you just feel like you're sitting on the couch and not getting much done, bored, disinterested. During the pandemic, I think that really taught us that behavior. And I know a lot of people who just don't feel like doing much. And so these are some really great oils to reach for as well. So this is a chart that I just love. And our upline, Natalie Goddard, designed this chart with the help of Quinn Curtis. And I would love to give them credit for this because when I saw this in the very beginning, when I started doing essential oils, I used to struggle with lower back pain. And I actually had my back operated on when I was 19. And when you think about this lower back pain, the emotional root is actually tied to scarcity. And if you know people who feel like they have different back pains and things like that, middle back pain is tied to being stubborn. So if you know somebody who's very stubborn, they seem to have back pain often. then that is something that you can really take a look at. And the beautiful thing is that these essential oils can work on both. So the Aromatouch oil, for example, in the middle back pain is so incredible. And we can look up, I can show you an app that you can download and look up how to use these oils and to be able to get your desired result. So flexibility becomes, if you're stubborn, you're not being flexible, right? So wouldn't it be great to be able to step in flexibility and get past? Maybe your back pain will go away, right? And so I hope I'm making sense. Is there any questions there? Anybody have yet so far on this?
We've covered the questions. That there's stuff that we'll talk about at the end.
Okay, so if you wanted to take a screenshot of this, I think it's really a really powerful thing to have in your uh, portfolio when you go to people's homes and you're talking about it and somebody's dealing with back pain or something. You can actually have a conversation with maybe looking at these oils in a different way. Here's another thing you can do a screen. It's not as clear. I don't know why. I apologize for that, but this is for me with digestive issues, you guys, oh my gosh, being judged all the time or avoidance, these were huge for me. And so when I started using the digestin oil, I noticed that I was becoming more peaceful and more accepting what I was doing and being brave about what was going on in my life. And it was just incredible. I never realized that. Like I kind of got to looking back and realizing that, wow, I'm not feeling anxious anymore. And being able to know that I can tie those together is just pretty powerful. So here's just a quick little chart I put together just to kind of give you an idea of some oils you can map together. Like we know that we have some beautiful emotion oils. And I thought I put adaptive on here. I must have forgot to go back. But adaptive is a beautiful essential oil that is a must have. If you're having people, like especially children, I think should be using adaptive oil constantly because there's so much that they're having to deal with, like school changes, things like that all the time. It's adapting to change. And if you can help break those patterns in the beginning when they're younger, that is just an incredible thought to have. Um, so Isaiah, how about if we send you a PDF on that too? I can go ahead and it might be clearer to do a PDF, but I can go back real quick and do the screenshot on that, I think, if I can find my mouse. There, this one? I guess
First page,
okay. So
Mr.
here,
Isaac wanted first.
Yeah, that one.
Yes, yes, that's right.
okay. Is that enough time? And here's this one again. Good. Okay. And so there's a beautiful app that you can download on your phone that Natalie also had a collaboration effort with. And we talked a lot about emotions here, right? But a lot of us don't really know how to map the oil to what emotion. And so, what is really cool is these tabs are on the app. You can click on, oh man, my back is hurting. So, you can click on your back, like look up the body pain element and click up the back of it and look at the back, and it will give you oils you can look at, and really it will address the emotion that you're dealing with too. And 99% of the time, I actually think it's 100%, but there's always that one person that's going to be stubborn and not admit that that's what they're dealing with. But I tell you what, it is just incredible to see that if you have a back pain and I go to look at the emotion of that, they're going to say, oh my gosh, I am dealing with that. So I always want to encourage people to look at the different oils that can support that in many different ways. Okay, here's the app. So if you wanted to, I don't think I put the link on here. Shoot, I will go ahead and send that link. Suzanne, maybe when you start talking, I'll go ahead and look that link up and put it in.
That's great.
Okay, so here's an example of some of them that work. So not to get, you guys, I don't screenshot this one and go back and look at it because there's a lot of information on here, but I just wanted to give you a sense of how it kind of works. So Lang is a beautiful oil that we love to use for supporting the heart, like a lot of people with high blood pressure, or irregular heartbeats, or whatever it is. My mom struggles with that from time to time. She loves lang. When we look up the lang is a powerful remedy for the heart. Right? It reconnects individuals with the inner child and the pure, simple ways of the heart. It encourages play and it restores childlike nature. I think sometimes we get so serious as adults, and that really constrains our heart, right? And so maybe we're not feeling the joy in our life either. So it's a fantastic support in age regression work and other methods of emotional healing. So these are some of the emotions, like over analyzing, right? So think about people who may have some heart issues. Are they over analyzing? Do they tend to be more of a serious person? And then you can go ahead and try using the lang for that issue. Again, here we talked about the mind with adaptive, and I'm just going to have you do a screenshot of that one. It's really just powerful. I wanted to address the digestion oil. Digestion is formulated to support the body's digestive system. It also has a powerful emotional quality for supporting individuals who lack interest in life and the physical world. The individual may have a tendency to take on too much at once. That's me. This overload of information and stimulation may lead to emotional form of indigestion, where the individual cannot break down life experiences into palatable forms. Digestion increases one's ability to receive new information, new relationships, new experiences, and be open to new possibilities. Isn't that powerful, you guys? Just so incredible. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, maybe reach for digestion, right? If you're looking for transformation or being exhausted, like I always tend to get exhausted quite a bit. Not interested, it's kind of being lazy, another way of saying lazy. So that is just really pretty cool. Here are some other oils that I pulled up for digestive issues because, again, you're brand new with doTERRA. Working on your gut health is very imperative. Doing that cleansing of those receptor sites. So work on the gut. Here's some beautiful oils that do that. Detoxification is always something you want to be doing on an ongoing basis. It's not just one day out of the month. You want to do it on an ongoing basis. Here's some uplifting oils. Of course, all the citrus oils are, right? They lift your mood up. They reduce stress because they're working on that inflammation, right? They're helping support that. They help with stomach upset, and they're just really wonderful oils to put in a diffuser. I love to see that here in my office. I love to do that from time to time, like a sunshine in a bottle. Here are some grounding oils. Again, notice they're tree oils. They're very strong. They're very sturdy. They're going to support you when you're feeling a lot of anxiety going on. Oops. And then here are some hormones. Of course, hormones are going to affect our emotions, right? And so being for women especially, I have to say, Larry loves Clary Calm. When he would get in front of a group and talk, before we were really doing this full time, we were part of network marketing groups. And he would get up in front of the group and talk, and he would want to use a Clary Calm because he found that just really took that anxiety and that nerves down. And so it's good for men too. So if you're a man out there on this call, don't just think it's a blend for women. I think it's just powerful. Okay, here are some screenshots too. This is just an example of how you can mix different oils to be able to use diffuser blends. If you're working on a certain area and focusing, like very grounding and uplifting blends. I just love this. There's tons and tons of different diffuser blends out there. And I always like to take and double up on some of these and make them into a roller bottle as well. So maybe if you're feeling like you need some uplifting, maybe you can take the time, eucalyptus and lime oils, quadruple the recipe and make it into a roller bottle. So foundational support, I think I'm going to pass this back to you, Suzanne. Are you ready for this one, or do you want me to do the next slide?
Yeah, I can do this one. I feel really passionate about these. I think that so many times we get into a sedentary lifestyle, meaning that we don't move around. And yeah, let's make sure and keep everybody muted while we're talking. But these are some great suggestions, you guys, to just help support your healthy emotions. So water intake is so critical. And it's important that the water is clean and pure, that we're not putting water into our body. When I was a kid, I grew up on a farm and I would drink water out of the creek, out of the, hose, I just drank all kinds of water. I think because of that, I have a really strong, gut, but it's really important to drink lots of clean water every single day and put those citrus oils, like Becky said, put those citrus oils in your water. Every time I drink water, I add lemon or tangerine. I love grapefruit and lime. And like she said, it's like sunshine in a bottle. And then every day you should be moving and exercising. You don't have to go to a gym to be able to exercise. You can walk outside and just start walking fast and just walk for 30 minutes, I do an intense walk with a bunch of friends every day, but if I miss it, I feel it. It helps your emotional health so much to be exercising and moving. Get out and work in your yard or go for a walk or go to the park and walk your dog, whatever you need to do, get out and move. Resting and meditating is so important, getting enough sleep, and then taking time to close your mind off from all of the stuff that's happening in your everyday life, with family and life and politics and everything that's going on. Just let your mind focus in on just beauty and simplicity and take the time to just meditate. It's so healthy. And then improve your diet. Like I said, make sure you're eating lots and lots of leafy green vegetables, good healthy fruits, whole grains, some meat, but just improve your diet and really eat healthy. If you're just eating lots of carbs all day, every day, I promise that your emotional health is going to suffer from that. Okay, let's go to the next slide.
I want to say just one thing about this too, because this is the sneaky part. You guys, like, oh, I don't feel like working out today. I don't want to go for a walk today. It's raining out or it's cold or I hurt my knee or something. And the next thing you know, 3 weeks have gone by and you think it's going to be easy to just go out there and start walking again. No, it's going to be 10 times harder to talk your mind into getting your butt off the chair and going out there and going for a walk. And if you are feeling that dis-ease of not going out and going for a walk, I would guarantee you can go ahead and look at some oils to help get that interest back and get that going, because that is an emotional thing that's pulling. Your mind is saying, oh, it's okay. That is your enemy. And that is where these oils are going to be really helpful for you on that.
Yeah, let me say one more thing as well. All of the things on this list take self-discipline, right? Or thinking about them. These aren't things that just passively happen. You get up in the morning, we get dressed, we eat, we take care of our kids, get them off to school, whatever. Those things just happen. But these are things that you have to put into your schedule. You have to, like Becky said, get yourself up and go do them. They don't just happen on their own, and they're things that can be neglected very easily. And so you have to say, I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to take care of my health and my emotional health. I'm going to do these things. It's very important. Okay, here we go back to this. We're right back here to this wellness lifestyle that we talked about in the very beginning. So just in your brain, go through these really quickly and give yourself a little score from 1 to 10. How well am I doing at my digestion, my nutrition? How well is that going for me? How well is my movement and exercise? How well am I resting? Am I managing my stress? Go through each one of these and give yourselves a score. If you are 7 and above, you're doing pretty good and you're on the right track, and we can all improve, right? Like maybe I'm really good at this and there's another area that I'm really not very good at. So just look at where you're a little weaker and try to just improve one thing in each area. What's one aspect of your diet and nutrition that you're going to change? that you're going to improve? What's one little area of movement which helps your metabolism that you're going to do better? You know, what's one area of your resting and managing stress? You know, maybe you're going to shut down your devices at night and your mind and just take time to really get yourself relaxed. Whatever it is, just take little baby steps to make small changes. And before you know it, you'll have 10s in all of these areas, or at least 9s. Nobody's really perfect, right?
Well, when you get a perfect day, then the next day something goes sideways. So
No, right? Be prepared for that. So as Becky, as Becky mentioned before, think about your top health priorities. You know, what do you want to feel less of? What do you want to feel more of? When I first started using doTERRA, the only goal I had was to feel less allergy symptoms because they were so bad. And so that's what I wanted to feel less of. I didn't want to be sneezing all day. I didn't want my eyes to be running. I didn't want to have a sore throat all the time, you know. But in your own life too, whether it's with those wellness pyramid things or whether it's with health issues, what do you want to feel less of and what do you want to feel more of? And then expand that. What does my spouse want to feel less of and more of? What do my children want to feel less more and more of? You know, you can go into your neighbors and people that you love and care about. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, so how do we get started in doTERRA? There are 3 different ways that we can get started. The first thing is that we can buy the products retail from someone who's a wholesale customer or a member, you know, wellness advocate. Now, we don't really encourage that, but I do say that for many of you, it helps to get your LRP order because you can purchase at wholesale and your neighbor might want to buy a deep blue rub, or, you know, your mother might want that breathe oil because it helps her breathe better. So you can sell those at the retail price and earn money. But if you're going to be buying the oils on a regular basis, or you want to use them for your own personal use, you really want to become a wholesale member or a wellness advocate. A wholesale member is just for somebody who just wants to be a customer. They don't want to build the business. And you still can get you get wholesale prices, 25% below retail. You can join the loyalty rewards program, which we're not going to go into a lot of detail on this class, but you get a lot of benefits. However, if you decide to share the oils with someone that you care about, they cannot join and be on your team. You cannot earn any commissions from them. And so, or someone above you in your upline can't put someone under you if you live in the same area as them or have the same interests. So we just really recommend that everybody becomes a wellness advocate. You get all of the benefits. And then if you ever do decide to share or build a team or have a little income, you know, then you're able to do that. And you still get the wholesale prices and the loyalty rewards program. Plus, you can earn commissions and share with other people. Let's go to the next slide. So a lot of times we wonder, you know, there's so many different oils to start with. I mean, we've talked about a lot that aren't in the main kits here. And there's so many things that we deal with that we're going to show you what doTERRA recommends that you start with in these next slides. Okay. So the kits are formulated, they're formatted so that they have the most commonly used essential oils and the products that are most commonly used. Now, this Natural Solutions kit in India has a big chunk of the product. So it has all of the most commonly used oils that we'll show you in a minute, plus a bunch more that are going to help with your emotional health. And then it comes with the fractionated coconut oil for dilution, the deep blue rub, the toothpaste, which is amazing, you know, the stickers, a box to keep your oils in. It comes with a diffuser. So this is a phenomenal kit. Now we know that everybody can't afford this, but if you're going to really dive in and do this business seriously, you might want to consider investing. If you were going to start your business anywhere else, you'd be buying a building, you would have to get a permit, you know, you would be having to get insurance for that company, you would have to be supplying it with, you know, furniture and all the supplies that you need for the business. It would cost you way more than this. So, you know, for anybody who can afford this, it's great. But let's go to the next ones, because this is probably one of the most commonly, this is the most commonly ordered kit to begin with. This one and the next one that we're going to talk about. This is the Home Essentials kit. It has 15 milliliter bottles of the most commonly 10 used oils. Okay, so You've got your lavender, lemon, and peppermint. You've got your breathe and your digest scent for the gut. You've got your on guard and your frankincense, a lemon oil, which is, you know, citrus. You've got the tea tree, oregano, deep blue. And again, it comes with a diffuser, and this is fabulous. Now, part of the reason that this kit seems a little expensive is because you guys have such high tax in India, right? You have 18% tax, but Becky's got the price here with tax included, so this covers everything. Let's go to the next one. This one is also very common because it's the exact same 10 oils, but they're in 5 milliliter bottles. So if you look at this, you know, it's 13,000 rupees. And it comes with those same 10 oils, but a third of the oil and the same fractionated coconut oil, a diffuser, and stickers. If you think about it, on the kit before, you get triple the amount of oil for less than double the price. So this is a great one to start with, but if you can just bump up to begin with and get that bigger kit, then you get 3 times as much oil. So you're going to even be better equipped. But this is a great one as well. Now, another one that I love is the simple starter kit, you know, because it's significantly less, and you get the 5 most commonly ordered oils in doTERRA. So, and they're big bottles, they're 15 milliliter bottles. So, you know, this one is about half the price, less than half the price of that Home Essentials kit, because it doesn't come with a diffuser. Okay, that's the difference. It doesn't come with a fractionated coconut oil or a diffuser, but you get 5 great oils. And anybody who enrolls should at least order this kit, okay? Or, as you can see on the right side, you can customize your first order. You can pick and choose what you want to order. But I mean, you can get the deep blue rub. You can get, you know, these 5 oils. You can get a diffuser if you want. So you can pick and choose. But all of these enrollment kits that we showed you, they're all discounted. So if you were to go out, for example, on the simple starter kit, because it's an enrollment kit, if you were to purchase those 5 oils and the stickers, it would be more than this amount. And doTERRA puts them together in this enrollment kit, and then they discount them. So just something to think about with that. Let's go on to the next slide. This is the Loyalty Rewards program, and I won't go in too deep with this, but it's the program that you can sign up with the month following enrollment, okay? Your first enrollment order does not count as a Loyalty Rewards order. I want to make that very clear. But the very next month, you can participate, and anybody who's going to be ordering on a regular basis, or certainly anyone who wants to build the business, is going to want to be in this Loyalty Rewards program, and you can opt in when you enroll, and you should opt in when you enroll. So just this helps you as you build points. You can see in the first 3 months, everything you order in your first 3 months, doTERRA is going to give you 10% back in points that you can turn in and redeem for free product. So this is kind of like a frequent flyer program. The next 3 months, you're going to get 15% back and then 20% back. By the time you've been ordering at least 50 PV a month for a year, you're going to be getting 30% back in addition to your 25% discount. So when people say the oils are so expensive, I say, well, let me tell you how you can get them at 55% off, because that is what I pay. I pay, you know, 55% off the retail price of the oils. In order to keep the points in your account, you need to just at least order one product every month, which everybody can do. In order to increase and move up this chart, this scale of 10% to 15% to 20%, you need to order 50 PV, you know, and PV is product value. So 50 PV is like 2 or 3 products. In order to earn commissions, if you're building the business, you are required to order 100 PV every month. That's so that you can use the products, experience them, learn about them, share them, give your team incentives with them, sell them to your neighbors and friends. They want you to live a lifestyle of incorporating the oils into your life. And then every month we have the free product of the month. If you order 125, so a little more than 100, 125 by the 15th, you get the free product, which this month is lemon, which is great for emotional health, right? And then every once in a while, about 3 times a year, you guys, is all, doTERRA does a 200 PV promotion. They did one in March with deep blue rub and deep blue. And so the next one probably will come in like July, where they'll do another 200 PV promotion. Same with the BOGOs. So anyway, you can get more information on this loyalty rewards program once you're enrolled, and your enroller will teach you more about this, but it's a fantastic program. Let's go to the next slide. So this is the way that you get started, and this is the information that you're going to need. Now, I will say that you might wonder why you have to give your date of birth. It's because doTERRA doesn't allow anyone under the age of 18 to join. And then to prove your age, also, they want you to have your ID, but you also have to have that ID so that you can earn commissions. And you only need the front side image of your PAN card, but you need the front and back of your Aadhaar card. So just so that you know this is the information that you would be giving. Let's go to the next slide. Oh, uh-oh.
Oh. What?
Oh, the next slide, yeah.
It's this one. You wanted
Okay,
to
this one, yeah. And then this is kind of what we're getting. We're not going to go deep into the business because that's going to be another call and another class. But in this company, there are 5 different ways that you can earn money. You can earn retail profit, as I already mentioned, by ordering at wholesale, and then you can sell at retail. You can sell in a shop, you can sell at a farmer's market, at a booth somewhere, or you can just sell to your family, friends, and neighbors at 25% up at the retail price. So we have the sharing bonus is what you get when you enroll someone for the first 60 days. You're going to get 25% of everything that they purchase. And then there's the power of 3 bonus, which in my opinion is the most important one because it helps you structure your team and receive the best bonuses as possible. So it's very, very important. And we're not going to go into detail about this today. You should ask the person that invited you here if they can explain that to you. And then the unilevel bonus is where everybody goes after the first 60 days that they're in the sharing bonus. After 60 days, they all go into the unilevel bonus, and you receive a different percentage depending on how far down they are. But the unilevel bonus helps you to help the people under you to be successful because you get higher and higher percentages the deeper they are. Okay, so it's very, very important. And then there are leadership bonuses that start with the rank of premier. Now you can see the different ranks here. There are ranks below elite, but the elite is like the core, most important rank to get to. And that is when you have 3,000 volume. And this number here below, the 22,217 rupees, is the average amount that you will earn when you are an elite. Now, when I say average, when you first hit elite, you will not earn that much. You will probably earn less than that, okay? And if you rank elite for years, then you'll make more than that amount, okay? But for a while, you're not going to make that number at the beginning. But then there's the rank of premier, and then you can see the rank of silver. You have to have 3 elites. That's why we try to encourage you to get to elite and then duplicate yourself and help your 3 leaders get to elite, because then you're a silver. And look at how much you're making when you're a silver. Okay, again, you're not going to make 16,000 rupees, I promise you, when you first rank silver. That will come after you have ranked maybe for several months, maybe for 6, 7, 8 months, and your volume is bigger and your team is growing and you're almost ready to rank gold is when you're going to be to that number, okay? But this can show you the potential of what you can earn as a gold. We have several golds in the company in India already. And, this is how much you can earn, and all the way up to diamond, blue diamond, presidential diamond. I would encourage you to just think of this as a ladder, and you're just going to start with the bottom rung of the ladder. And, if you have a ladder, you're not going to go from the bottom all the way to the top of the ladder in one step, right? You're going to have to go one step at a time. So just start by trying to get to elite. Elite is the core, most important rank that you can get to right now. And so if you're not elite, your goal is to get to elite, okay? If you're elite, then your goal is, of course, going to get to premier, but you still want to help your leaders get to elite, okay? So you're always thinking about, what does it take me to get to elite, and what's it going to take for me to help others get to elite on my team, okay? Okay, let's go to the next slide. Are we at the end?
And we were wanting to make that short, right? So,
Yeah.
yes, the last one. I put the quote here.
Oh, yeah. You fill a bucket drop by drop. You clear your mind thought by thought. You heal yourself moment by moment. I'm taking a screenshot of that right now because that is a beautiful, beautiful quote. But I'm going to let, first of all, I just want to say, I really appreciate all of you being here. It's so fun to gather every week. Next week, I'm going to be in the Philippines, so I'm not going to be able to be here, but the week after I'll be right back. But Becky, she is like on it, so she'll be here, and we'll send out the recording of this. And I just want to thank all of you to be here. I have to run to another meeting, but Becky's going to stay on and answer all of your questions. So